What's going on out there, YouTube? SEL0220 just came back from the 10 o'clock showing in regular. Oh gosh, X-Men Days of Future Past. I've been waiting, y'all. I've been waiting not only to see characters like Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, Aaron Ashmore, Ellen Page, others that I can't even explain. And on top of that, everybody from the cast of First Class, such as Jennifer Lawrence, James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender, Hugh Jackman, all in one movie. I'm gonna be very quick because I don't have that much battery life. I'm really doing this on the gun. I don't even know if I'm gonna add any special titles in the beginning of this. I will do a spoiler review right after this if my camera permits it. But I'm gonna go ahead and go straight into this. First of all, off the gate, this movie was beautiful. Everything from the action scenes, see look, I'm serious. See, it's gotten serious. Everything from the action scenes, everything from the set pieces. I mean, there were points where you were seeing what was going on in a post-apocalyptic world. Matter of fact, it starts off there. And every scene that you see in this post-apocalyptic world where everybody is basically either dead or just barely hanging on, and just how they captured that imagery behind that, it brought me back to the comic book. And the comic book Days of Future Past is very similar to this storyline in so many different ways that I can't even really explain, but it just looked beautiful. It looked authentic. It looked fresh. It didn't look cheesy or corny. I mean, when I think about X-Men The Last Stand, I think cheesy. When I think about X-Men 2, X-Men United, I thought awesome. I thought X-Men 1, awesome. I thought First Class, awesome. But there was a cheesiness level to The Last Stand. It was just like, it was supposed to be like this epic climactic thing, and this filled that gap in so many ways of imagery and just the subtle scenes as well. There were certain scenes where you had Magneto, or certain scenes where you had like a character named Quicksilver, and it's just the way it's captured. There's this one scene with Quicksilver, which I didn't even know that I was gonna like this character, because I was like, but the scenes that he's in, it just, wow. If Flash is done like this by DC, or can be even close to this, wow. It's just eye-popping. And it wasn't even 3D. It didn't need to be 3D, quite honestly. It was just visually a spectacle to see. And it went from DC to Moscow to Egypt to all these different kind of locations. But they put so much effort into the cinematography for this. It was just, it's amazing. Action out the wazoo. Action from points where you see like one of the characters in their older form in the future, and then character in the here and now when they're younger, and just the parallel, the battles that are taking place all simultaneously. It's not rushed. It's just beautiful cinematography. Actually, I like the soundtrack. I thought the soundtrack was very reminiscent of the X-Men 1, X-Men 2, parts of even Wolverine movie, of course First Class, but it was just such a subtle tone to it that I'm gonna have to go and dissect the soundtrack one by one. But for me, the cinematography and even like the musical score for it, I'd have to give it no less than a 9.0. I really enjoyed just the look and the feel of this. Okay, so y'all know this is a whole line of cast members in this, so I'm not gonna go through every single one. If y'all want me to in the spoiler review, if y'all want me to do a backup spoiler review, if I don't pick up on stuff, then I'll do it then. But standouts was what I'll stand for this right now. So standout, Jennifer Lawrence, of course. Hugh Jackman, of course. Michael Fassbender, of course. Ian McKellen, of course. James McAvoy, Patrick Stewart. These are the pioneers. I mean, be quite honest with you, I even liked Ellen Page's role in this one. I actually liked. It was like, she wasn't doing a lot, but she was. Like, she was very intricate to this storyline in so many different levels. From her powers that have evolved. Everybody's power that you saw before, they stepped it up a notch. And then reintroduction to new characters that I can't even go into because there's so many. But just the fact that they would go there and bring these new characters into life, and it doesn't feel too convoluted, it doesn't feel too rushed, it feels real because they took, to me, it took a step from like how Arrow is progressed. Arrow, you got the present and then you got the past, and it's interwoven at certain points, and that's why I love the show. And this, oh my gosh, just made cinematic history in the sense that you have such an epic thing that's happening in the future, and it's just as worse or crazier in the present. And the things that they revolve around, like Michael Fassbender's Magneto, on a deeper level, just his relationship with James McAvoy's version of Professor Xavier, it's just crazy. And to be quite honest with you, James McAvoy, his character goes through such an evolution in this that I don't even know how to go there with it. It's amazing to see. It's great acting. It's great heart that's coming through it. Even Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen, like when you look at their roles and what they've built these characters on, when they step up to the plate and use their powers, you're like, okay, they about to take care of business. And you look at the younger self, they about to take care of business. They are who and what they are. Even Hugh Jackman, I mean, even though technically Hugh Jackman is needed to go in between all these different characters interwove, he wasn't just the central character. Everybody was essential in their own right. Every character had a moment to shine. And I mean that. Every character. Even the sub-characters, like if you see Toad, if you see... who else? Oh, shoot. If you see... I can't even... see so many characters, I can't even really go there and process. But even the character from... well, the man from Game of Thrones... playing Trask, I thought that he did a decent job as well. He didn't get as much meat to do with it as far as his acting capacity, but for what he needed to be, it was perfect for me. So this wasn't a acting driven movie. Like you don't need to intend upon like the acting being the fuel and the fire and everything like that. But the fact is that just having James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender, and Hugh Jackman in scenes together were just amazing. And don't even get this twisted. Even though Quicksilver, I looked at the first shots of him and I was like, man, what is this? And I liked the actor. I liked him in Never Back Down. I liked him in most of the what was that show? American Horror Story. I liked him in so many different other roles that I've seen him in. Oh, he was in One Tree Hill. He was in One Tree Hill as well. He's got such good acting talent, but he can be very raw as far as just being funny and a likable character. And I like Quicksilver. Matter of fact, I wish he would have had more playtime. And I think that they probably will put that into play in the next one. But, I mean, it was just so much, y'all, that I can't even go there. It was just so much. But I would say the acting, I would probably give it an 8.0. I didn't see anybody's acting even lessened. Even people that were sub-characters, they didn't like, oh, and that was super cheesy. What was that? You know, it didn't go there. It didn't go there. The funny moments that were funny, they were funny. And a lot of the funny moments, it was serious stuff that was going on, but they made it a funny situation just from an acting capacity, which is awesome. So then, just to close it all out, the story. The story was epic. The end was epic. Is there an end credit? Not regular post credits, meaning after the movie's over with, you're not gonna see an immediate post credit scene. You're gonna see after the whole credit reel's gone, there is something there that is, you need to watch it. Matter of fact, the whole ending is just something you have to you're just gonna be blown away from. Every single X-Men movie that you watch, all this from the start, it goes and evolves into everything that we've already witnessed and where the characters have been, where they're going, and it's just awesome to witness. I mean, from the first scene that I saw, going into the post-apocalyptic world, you got Patrick Stewart, you got Magneto, you got Iceman, you got everybody as far as the core characters that were still alive there. Certain characters had already been killed because, like I said, this is a whole different post-apocalyptic timeline. But it was just so interesting to watch and see engage. Like, man, I'm worried about these characters. I'm almost a little bit invested in these characters and the way they die. And I didn't bring this up as far as the cinematography before, but you see these characters get killed. Like, you see certain characters just bite it. in terrible ways from these Sentinels. The Sentinels were characters in and of themselves. They went through an evolution. By the time you see the finished product of the Sentinels, you're gonna be like, okay, whatever that weak sauce that I saw with the little metal stuff is nothing compared to these guys. They're just on a different level. But it's crazy, y'all. I can't really go there because I can't bring too much of the story in, but Ellen Page's character plays an intricate role in everything. And of course you have the older versions of Professor X and Magneto that are trying to utilize Wolverine to be able to help change the outcome of everything. That's what the whole movie is truly about. But when you get to the scenes of the past, you find that everybody is in a terrible place. And I mean, they are split apart in ways that I didn't even think was really truly possible. I thought it was like, okay, everything's gonna be all hunky-dory, but that was not the case in this movie. So they had to go through a process of fighting one another, gaining the trust of one another, and then they, in the end, if anything you can take away from the story, by the end of the older, well, not the older, but technically the newer versions or the younger versions of the characters, they are pinpoint to the characters they're supposed to be and how they're depicted in the cartoons. If you've seen them, in the comic books, if you've seen them, you will understand how they ended, and it's just awesome, and it changes everything. That's all I can say. I mean, when I go into the spoiler review, I will go into detail about things that I really want to bring up right now, but I can't do that right now. Anyway, I'll say I give the story, believe it or not, a 9.0. I give this movie, quite honestly, a 9.0. I really enjoyed this movie. It to me, when I got out, even after the post credits, before the post credits even started, I want to do this. There were scenes towards the end, I didn't care who was around me. I wanted to geek out, and I couldn't do that. So come tomorrow, if I see it again tomorrow, I will geek out. It was just such a treat to watch. Cinema wise, from just the older movies, and then from them doing the justice that the comic books have truly like deserved on a cinematic level, this went there. And I mean, be honest with y'all, I mean, Marvel has done their job. As far as Captain America and this, they were truly successes. Y'all know that I love Amazing Spider-Man, but when you think about revenue-wise and what it should have been, what they projected to be, it wasn't the same. But Captain America and this, they got it perfect. DC, it was like, there were moments when I'm sitting there watching Days of Future Past, and I was like, man, this needs to be the contender that goes next to Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice. This is what, like, I mean, it was that kind of level of good for me, just watching it, because it was an historic event. And you only get movies like that once in a lifetime. You get like trilogies, you get like sequels that can be really awesome, but this was something totally different. And if you don't catch it, you'll miss a lot of different things, a lot of different Easter eggs. I'm not gonna go into any further because I don't want my battery to die, but highly recommend you go and see Days of Future Past this weekend. If you don't see it next weekend, if you don't see it this weekend, go see it next weekend. It's a lot that happens, and it was an awesome treat to watch. If you liked my rant / review or enthusiasm, please leave a like at the bottom. If you'd like to know any other thing about like my thoughts about it or what you want me to add into my spoiler review, I might wait till tomorrow to do a spoiler review instead of doing it right now. I don't know yet. I might do 2 spoiler reviews, who knows? But leave your comments below what you think about what I thought, or any kind of comments that when you saw the movie, what you thought about it. And then anything else, if y'all liked it, please subscribe. I'm out because I want to get into this spoiler review right now. I'm sorry. SCL0220. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going into the spoiler review. Later, everybody.